exciting and interesting highlights from your childhood. I think the most exciting thing for me was learning to read. I got a today I can still remember the thrill I had figuring out what words that I could read. So that was, I remember that very, very clear. To this day, I remember the thrill I had about learning different words. Yeah, by myself, you figure them out.
Yeah.
And the next thing, highlight, I was thinking this morning, spelling. I used to love to spell, and I wanted my words spelled right. And I remember we lived down near New York, right next to New York. And we moved later over to New York, right? But anyway, we were right down there. And they gave us a spelling test. And the teacher was a substitute teacher or something, and she was from Boston. And they had an accent. And we used to say bath. She came, and to this day I can still see it. She said, cloth. I knew how to spell bath, but she said it again. Bath. And the way she said it sounded like an E. I knew how to spell it, and I went by the way she said it. Naturally, I got it wrong. And I always remember that got me so mad after, because I loved to spell, and I was very proud of my spelling. I tried to do it right. But it was the way she said it. It was her accent. And then there was, I could say one more thing about Boston. There was a couple of kids, I guess, maybe that was their mother, I don't know, that were playing around, we were outside playing, and the little girl said shots instead of shorts. She had on some shots, and we were jumping up and down. We never heard anything like it. We said, say it again, say it again. And she said, shots, we are arrived. We thought that was so funny. Say it again, shots instead of shorts. Wait a minute, and then let's see, something else I remember. Childhood, my favorite interesting thing, another thing was somebody died that we went sleigh riding with. He wasn't a real good friend, but we used to go sleigh riding, and the whole gang was. And he died. I guess he went over a bump or something. I'm not sure what happened, but I remember going to his wake, and it was in his house. And there's 3 other girls and I, we kind of stayed together, played together, and we were back there looking at him. And he moved. He moved. I said, God, those kinds of places, but, we never seen anybody dead. And he said, I've seen him move. I've seen him move. That was, and the other interesting childhood was running races. I could never seem to run too fast. And I tried. But anyway. Then our other favorite thing was going to the beach every day in the summer. We used to pack a sandwich and walk to the beach. We were under 10. It wasn't that far from the house. We spent the whole day and swimming in the little place, and the boys would drag one of our friends there. And I used to pray, please don't drag me. I was so scared into the water, And let's see, that's from childhood. Very imaginative. I had a very happy childhood, actually. Playing ball. We played ball, and then I remember the Good Humor Man coming on the street. Nobody ever got, this was in the 1930s, nobody ever got an ice cream. So he'd ring his little bell, and we didn't think anything, hey, we don't get one, But there's one little boy, one little boy, that got one. He had polio. And he sat in a chair or something. We didn't play with him, we just looked. But he always got an ice cream every day. Yeah, but we didn't, so hey, big deal. We didn't think anything of it. And then going to the movies, we used to go to the movies in New York, right over the line. We walked there, and we had just a couple of pennies. We stopped at a candy store. So this was our regular every Saturday morning. And the whole side of the thing would be candy. Penny candy. So some was 3 for a penny, 5 for a penny, 2 for that. There's all different prices. And we'd spend. This is at a little store down before we went to the movies. We stopped there first. I don't know what we had. 2 sports cents. I don't know what we had. 5 cents. And this is before we went to the movie. We'd pick out, and it would take so long. You didn't know. Of course, naturally, the good one was 1 penny, and the other that wasn't as good would be 3 for a penny. And yet you wanted it good, but you wanted it to last. So it would take quite a while picking out this candy. Put it in the bag, and then we walked on to the movies, right over. So this was in Connecticut, and we walked right through, right over the little bridge. I mean, we were young, but everybody did. And there was the movie over here in New York. And every Saturday we went to the movies. And that's when the movies were good because I think you've seen 2 movies. They had trailer chapters, what do they call them, serials. And it was just something you did. Actually, it wasn't a big deal because, of course, they had no television those days. Huh? And then when we were young, we used to lay in bed at night listening to the radio. They'd have all kinds of stories. And it was very cozy, nice. You just laid in your bed listening to all these stories. You go to bed and have your radio on and all that stuff. So it was a fun time. Though I think the exciting, interesting highlight would be, I just love to read, my friends, and interesting, I think, going to the beach like that and stuff like that. Okay, now what do you enjoy doing in your free time? What else? Reading. That's about my only. I wish I could walk. I used to love to walk. Years ago, I mean, when my kids, your dad was young, we could walk in the woods a little bit down here in the park with the dog and everything. But now it's not that safe. You can't just, I didn't go way in anyway. Now I can't walk that far. But that's one thing. The only thing I really wish I could do is walk more. Okay. Now, what were the different places you lived, and what was your favorite, and why? I lived in New Haven for a while when I was young. I remember we went down to New York City, and they were talking about, I was very young, probably 5 or something, and they were talking about trains that were up on the, up high, and then they went into the ground. Couldn't figure that out. Do that, I remember being puzzled how they did that. Naturally I never did figure it out, but we did, and then I do remember riding on a trolley car, and it was open, and then I can only remember one trolley ride, and then New York, in New York I worked at in the telephone company, which was fun. I worked for a detective agency because one time I wanted to be a woman detective. I didn't know all these bad things, so I was just thinking to spy on people. I really didn't think there was real bad things. And so I did get a job there, and with a detective. I said I wanted to be a detective, and so they let me. They gave me a job, which I was very surprised. Typing up reports from the detectives. And they were all divorced. But anyway, it was kind of fun. But I got thinking, so then I took care of some kids in Long Island that I lived in and did the housework and took care of the children. And I had a day off, but I was so tired. I couldn't get out of bed. They kept me so busy, And let's see, what other jobs? What my favorite place, I think the one I do have the most memories is where the place in the beach, where we walked to the beach, So that would be my favorite. Why? Because, even today when I smell tar, when they tar the road, tar brings back that beachy thing. It seems like you always smell tar going down to the beach. Maybe you're always doing that, I don't know. Okay, what were some of your childhood dreams? My dream was to be a lawyer for animals, because we had a dog that bit people, but he always had a reason, which isn't right, but somebody was teasing him, somebody threw things at him, and I used to run home, like even we had an ice skating pond, the boys were kicking the thing, and I used to see the policeman, but he bit somebody, and I ran through the field on my ice skates trying to, don't take our dog, but they never did, but I used to think that was awful. I wanted to give the reason why he bit. See, nobody cared about that. They just, hey, he bit. And I said, oh, there's a reason why he bit. So I said, I'd like to be like a lawyer and defend animals, you know. Okay, what historical events from your time do you most remember and why? Oh, I do remember one thing, very good. The dirigible, the one that, Hindenburg, that's the one thing I really remember good. Yes, because they let our school was up on top of a hill, and they let us out when it flew over. Well, you know, and then it went from there to New Jersey, and
That's right.
it went up in flames and everything. But I do remember all going, you know, and okay, that's the one thing. What were some of the different kinds of jobs you had during your life? Oh, I ran an elevator. I worked in a soda fountain. Detective. What?
Police station. Police
No,
station.
I didn't.
Police station. You were a detective or something?
No, a detective I did work for, not a police station. A detective, but I was a, what do you call it, secretary or whatever, you know. The only thing, I mean, I did have shorthand, because I took a business course in high school, and the only problem was a man, the white, that had the detective agency, and they, I said, oh yeah, I can take dictation. And I did do good in school, I just never had a job. So I go in there and I go with my little shorthand pad, and I go in and she starts rattling off, and you know, shorthand, you're taking little short notes, like, you know, little things. And then I go out there, then you type it up. I get out there and I can't even read it. I go, oh my God. I can't read the notes. I can't read my shorthand. And I tried it as long as I couldn't try. I went into and told her I just didn't do a good job or whatever. I just can't read it. So I didn't do any more shorthand after that. But wait a minute, don't fall. What's he doing? Then I was a nurse's aide, taking care of people in telephone company, you know, nurse's aide. I liked that very much at first. I loved taking care of people. And I really wanted to help everybody, you know, that's the way you feel. Okay, now what kind of pets did you have and what were their names? The only pet we had was a dog named Spot. And we used to, my sister, she'd get on one side of the road, on the hill, and we both called and see who came to see who we liked the best.
Who do you go to?
A lot of times they come to me.
Oh, yeah?
But I mean, I would take Zevin probably, you know.
Yeah.
And then another time when we first, we had him in Eastport, that's in Connecticut. When we moved to New York, when we first got there, somebody tied tin cans around on his tail. And they, you know, they run in the noise. Did they both go out there?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh no, that's awful scary to a dog. You know, I mean, they're running, the noise is just, oh God. That's something else. Just things, what did I remember? Oh, I just remembered. I forgot the historical things. I just thought of something else that was kind of funny. When World War II started, my girlfriend and I went, because down, school was here, you just walk a little way and you're downtown, right? And we used to go down there and look for spies. Anybody that looked suspicious. And then what we used to, you know, working, and somebody came, you know, because you go to the movies now all the time, so they had a good, you know, here's a German, there's a Jap, right? Well, we seen a guy, he had a monocle, that is a glass thing. We were laughing, because there was a real spy. This guy come across the street. But that's what we, you know, spent looking for spies and doing, well, you know, but anyway. Okay, now, what were their names? Was Spot with this dog. What was school like when you were a child? I'll tell you, did the kids go out there training or snowing? I think they went out. Okay. What was school like when you were a child? Well, first of all, you certainly would never say You'd be ashamed to say you didn't know anything.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you keep quiet. You keep a lot of things quiet, actually, and you certainly would never, there was discipline. You wouldn't dare, answer back or say anything, which I think is good because you're there to learn. And school, I think the discipline is the best. Not harsh, but you just wouldn't dare do anything wrong. I think in middle school, well, it'd be middle school now, but then somebody said something to the teacher, oh my, boom, you get cracked right away. I mean, hey, you don't fool around, you know. And so, okay, well, who were your friends during your life? I'd say my sister, one was down in New York, was my best friend. And but then, you know, your friends, like if you move around, which I did, it's hard to keep the same friends because, you know, you're not always there. But so you have different friends during your life. I have different ones now, and like, you know, from when we've been married and everything. Who are the people in your family, and how are they related to you? What does that mean, like brothers and sisters?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see, I have a brother down in Florida, and I have a sister that's in the convalescent hospital now. They don't want to know about your grandson and all that stuff, do they? No, because there's too many, you know, related. So how are they related?
I can always ask Dad.
Well, right, well, I mean, if I talk about,
Family members.
yeah, right, well, so we'll just, so that's take care of it.
Yeah, unless you want to know anything else.
I think I am 69. I think it's, you're lucky to be alive. I mean, there's so many people in worse condition. There's a lot of people better. You know what I mean? So, I think it's just fate, you know what I mean? Some people are going to get here, or some people aren't here, or whatever. And you just hope for the best from here. And I think reading's been my greatest joy, really, because I haven't traveled much. Nothing but in your books you can travel around. You can see, because I am very curious too, so you can see how I love to know this and I like to know that. And you really find out, and the more you find out, the more you know you don't know too. Because there's so much, there's too much to learn, you can't really, but you can, I mean, reading gives you great pleasure, you know. To me it does, yeah. Now, a lot of people don't like to read, so hey, they like something else.
Yeah.
But I find my greatest pleasure in this world is reading.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
Animals too.